Hi, this is Trey Pastor. Welcome to Spielberg Saturday. This is episode 4, I believe. Um, and I'm reviewing Steven Spielberg movies. And this is a movie that I saw in the theater when it originally came out. And this movie really got to me as far as emotionally. And of course, I'm talking about, I think it came out what? This is a movie that actually, I think that, if I remember this right, Stanley Kubrick was going to make, but of course, he passed on. This 2001's AI. There it is. There's the digibook I got from Germany, Premier Collection. There it is. There's Haley Joel Osment and Jude Law, who are in the movie. Anyway, this movie takes place in the kind of distant future, and due to the circumstances, I think they explain in the beginning of the movie that the polar ice caps have melted and people have gone more into the inner cities and stayed away from the cities on the coast. And mankind, specifically William Hurt's character in this movie, he plays a scientist, Professor Hobby, I think that's his name. And mankind has, and he even asked in the beginning of the movie, the great goal was to, that man built robots, and the great goal was trying to get a robot to feel emotion and feel love for humans. And what they do is he creates a character named David, played by Haley Joel Osment, who is the first AI that's a little boy, and they basically get an employee of theirs, played by Sam Robards. He plays Henry Swinton. Him and his wife Monica Swinton, played by Frances O'Connor. Their son has an incurable disease, so he's basically frozen and cries. And they go to read to him every once in a while and tend to him. But of course, the wife is kind of to the point where she's not really moving on. And so when Professor Hobby creates this artificial little boy, they pick the Swintons to basically be, I guess, the guinea pig of this this little boy, to take him home to interact with him to see how he behaves. And of course, at first, she's not, the mother doesn't want nothing to do with him at first, but then she slowly, starts to view him as a kid, because he looks so realistic, and he's always there right after her, curious, and then he even the husband tells her, listen, there's about 7 words, I think, that if you say these 7 words, you gotta hold them a certain way. You say these 7 words, and then they'll be imprinted on her, and of course he'll love you like a normal child would love her mother. And of course, after a while, she does do that, and of course, he's bonded to her forever, and you can tell that by the reaction of David. Once after she says those words, he starts calling her mommy, and they bond, and they're close. But of course, the real son actually wakes up from his coma, and I think, he wakes up from his coma, and they take him home and bring him back home. And of course, there's all kinds of issues between him and David, of course, the real son. There's all kinds of incidents, and they even tell. I think the husband even warns the mother in the beginning that, listen, once you bond with him, he's bonded with you for life. And so, the alternative, if you don't want him, we have to take him back, and then they'll shut him down, of course. But after a series of incidents, between the son, the real son, and David, the fake, the AI, which kind of leads to some horrific situations. The mother basically abandons him and abandons him in the woods. She doesn't want to take him back to the factory where he'll be shut down, but she leaves him out in the woods with his talking Teddy, who is actually interactive, smart toy, and she basically leaves him in the woods. Basically leaves him there and drives off. Where of course he's absolutely devastated and thinking that his mother doesn't love him, and he, after hearing the story of Pinocchio, he figures that if he becomes a real boy, his mother will love him and come back for him. And basically then the rest of the movie is him actually looking for the blue fairy. Now this is an unusual Spielberg movie. And like I said, I think he took over for this, if I remember this right, because Stanley Kubrick, who was going to do this movie, he died. But yeah, I like this movie. Like I said, this movie, I think, especially Haley Joel Osment, I thought he was really, really good as David, the boy who the robot boy who actually wanted to be a real boy who wanted, after he wanted the love of his mother. And so it's sort of like Pinocchio in that way, that he wanted to become real. Now, this movie's not perfect. It's a little bit too long. I think it's about 2 hours and about 20-something minutes. So, and I think the movie kind of gets lost a little bit after he gets abandoned into the woods and he's searching, and they run into these people that are the humans that actually hate. I guess they call robots in this movie. They call them mechas. Okay, so they basically use all these abandoned robots, basically as target practice and stuff. And Jude Law is this romance robot that he kind of meets along the way, who kind of helps him on his way to finding the blue fairy that he wants to find, who he hopes will eventually turn him into a real boy, so his mother will love him. And I think that's the part that really got to me. The emotional part about him wanting to get his mother's love. I think that really, really touched a part of me. And like I said, the movie, I think it's a little bit too long. And like I said, William Hurt is the inventor who created Professor Hobby, who invented David. And you'll see why later in the movie, why David looks the way he does, and the reason for that, I guess. But I like this movie. I mean, it's not perfect, like I said. It's a little bit too long, but I like the sentiment in it. Especially, I like Haley Joel Osment. I thought he was really, really good as David. And that part, when he gets abandoned in the woods, just really, really, really gets to me. And I like the emotional parts. Like I said, all he wants, like I said, once he bonds with his mother, he wants the love of his mother. And I know it's a robot, and he said robot's not supposed to feel, but he really sells it to me that he wants, that his driving force is to try to get, to win his mother's love, that he wants to know that she loves him back. And I liked it. And like I said, it's a little bit too long. There's good sci-fi elements in there and stuff, but the emotional stuff gets to me. And I like this movie. It's not Spielberg's best, but it's definitely not his worst. Okay, but I liked it. Okay, so I'm going to give AI a 7 out of 10. I liked it. Like I said, I remember seeing this in the movie theater, and that part just really got to me in the woods. That's just when she just drives him out there and just leaves him there, and he's practically breaks down. Of course, that's really rough to watch. Okay. Anyway, definitely a 7 out of 10. Let me know what you think. Have you seen AI? What do you think of it? Feel free to leave comments down below. And if you like this review, please hit the subscribe button down below. And this is Trey Passer for Spielberg Saturday, saying so long and take care. I forgot to add something again to the Spielberg AI movie. There's two things in this movie. The animated Ted robot, teddy bear that's in there. Obviously, I don't know. I'm assuming, I'm going to make that assumption that, the guy who created Family Guy, which I can't remember his name now, probably saw this movie, and that's maybe where he got the idea to do Ted. Because, the teddy bear is practically, it's Ted, before Ted was created. Maybe he saw it and just got the idea to make a foul-mouthed Ted, but there it is. I mean, it was so obvious while watching this, watching this again, I said, oh my God, that's probably where he got the idea from it. But anyway, I don't know if that's true or not, just my opinion. I mean, he could have pulled that out of his ass, or maybe he had a childhood teddy bear that he loved. Anyway, I was going to say the other thing, the Chris Rock robot. I didn't remember that when watching it. There's a scene in there where they're having that fair where they're destroying the robots, the mechas, and they have a Chris Rock robot. Believe it or not, that has his voice and looks just like him. Gets shot out of a cannon. That was just weird and out of place for some reason. It just kind of seemed kind of random to have that in there, but Yeah, I just wanted to mention those two things, okay?